I'm sure if I asked most Apex players what the most annoying thing they have to deal with, they would all say the same thing. It's something that's universally hated by every single Apex player, and on a ranked map like KC, they happen so frequently. If you ask any player what they hate the most in Apex, it's always third parties. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down a few ways that you can not only avoid third parties altogether, but how you can actually use them to your advantage. But if you guys like these types of videos and want to learn even more about Apex, you need to check out the GameLeap website. Over there, we have our Predator level coaches creating highly informative guides so that no matter what aspect of Apex you're struggling with, you will be able to find a solution. And guys, today is the last day of our sale, so if you sign up right now using code SPLIT2, not only will you get a nice discount, but you will also be entered in a draw to win a one-on-one coaching session with me. This ends April 15th, so go now. But now, some people might be wondering what a third party is. They may be new to FPSs or video games in general, or maybe they've just never heard the term. Well, a third party is one of the best ways to catch teams off guard and win fights with ease. I'm sure that you've had times where you're fighting a squad and you're so close to finishing everyone off and winning, and then all of a sudden another team comes out of nowhere. Well, the team that came out of nowhere is what's called a third party. They usually catch players off guard while they're low on health, ammo, or also no abilities because they already used them in that fight. And there are few things in this game that are as strong as a well-timed third party. So how do you avoid these and deal with them properly? Well, first off, let's break down avoiding third parties altogether. Apex is a very fast-paced game, faster than most, and teams can close distances extremely quickly. If a team can hear your gunshots, it is more than likely that they will be on their way to come join the fun. And with abilities like Valkyrie Ultimate, Octane Jump Pad, Ash Portal, and Wraith Portal all being in the game, they're going to be able to get to you very fast. Because of that, you always need to be finishing your fights as fast as you possibly can. Fights should only really last 15 to 20 seconds. On a map like Kings Canyon, the current ranked map and one that is very third-party heavy, if you start a fight, you cannot waste time poking and trading damage. It's just wasted time. But don't get me wrong, some people do take this the wrong way. You can still use medium to long range guns to open up fights. But as soon as you get a knock or a crack or any type advantage, you need to be pushing off that. If you don't and the fight gets drawn out, that just means the chances of you being caught out by a third party go higher and higher. You have to remember that every little sound that you make is another chance a team will hear you and be running full sprint at you. Remember that every second counts in a game like Apex. You need to be essentially chomping at the bit to push when your team gets a kill to finish wiping that squad. That way you're able to swap armors, grab loot, and top up on a few things because another team is probably coming at you and you need to be ready to fight right away. So don't spend too much time looting. And I do know that we all love to get those really clutch clips where you kill two squads back to back. But those moments aren't going to happen a lot of times, and typically they aren't worth the risk that they pose. Taking on too many people at once just greatly increases your chances of dying, and if you die, you're losing RP and not climbing and being hard stuck basically. But now we can move on to the next thing we need to talk about, and that is proper scouting and understanding where teams would be around you. Always be getting as much information as possible on teams and the areas you're in before engaging in fights. You should always be running through a sort of mental checklist before every single fight, especially if it's in an area of the map that has a lot of traffic. Now, KC is very small and the POIs are close together, so most of the time these areas are everywhere on the map. It is hard to give specific details on this one because it is a much different map than the others. But there are a few things that can help you determine this. Like when you were in the dropship, did you see a lot of teams drop near you? What side of the map has the most people? Are you in a spot where a lot of teams rotate through? Something like containment or market, those are spots that a lot of players stop and check in on their way to zone. Have you heard or seen any squads recently? Or even if you have an Ash on your team, they can see where death boxes are on the map and determine where a lot of teams are fighting based off of that. These types of situations and questions are a few things that you need to check over before fighting, because the more questions you can answer, the more likely you are to being able to take a clean fight and not get third-partied. Now, I'm by no means perfect. Sometimes I do mess these things up too, but those can be turned into learning opportunities. So let's take a look at this clip from my stream. In this, I was playing crypto. We knew where the circle was pulling towards markets, so we wanted to play edge and then Valk alt late. We do spot a team coming in late from zone, so I take out my drone to see what their plan is, but as I'm taking out my drone, I see that some team has hit the map room scan as well. So the map room team will know that my team and this team that just came out of zone are looking to fight because of the positions that we're in. So at that point, we do know that there is a second team that will be coming our way. But as I drone, I do see the team that had just come from storm is looking to posture up on us and try to fight. When they get closer and in position, I do try to go for an EMP, but my drone got shot, so I open the door and just go for shots instead and throw some nades. My team gets a lot of damage out and we end up knocking the Valkyrie, but because we got a huge knock, we are pushing that right away. When we come over the hill, I can see that they're trying to portal out the Valk, so we get the thirst and start looting. I was not aware that my teammate chased the original squad, and literally as I call out that we don't want to overcommit because there was a team map room, they show up and start fighting us. And even though I was able to get a decent amount of damage out before dying, it wasn't enough and another team shows up from storm again, and in all honesty, my team probably could have won that fight, but again, we fought in a high traffic area and suffered the consequences for it. Because our awareness dropped and we weren't really thinking about where we were and got punished for it. We knew a team was map room, so we should have just pushed the other team away and not committed to fighting them. Then we would have been able to either move to a new spot with Valkyrie ult or even fight the team that was coming from map room instead. But we got caught out, and it's a perfect example to show off to help people understand what I mean by these mental checklists. We didn't run through that and we got punished because of that. But now, how can you use a third party to your advantage? It seems like they always kind of ruin things, so how can you spin it to be a positive outcome? Well, most of the time, people that are third party are overly excited to get there and will jump into things without thinking because they want to be the ones to get the kills and get all of the KP. You can actually use this to your advantage. Once you spot the third party team coming, you need to get your squad out of harm's way immediately. Either Ash TP, Wraith Portal, or Octane Jump Pad, all three are decent options. That way, you are not the center of attention and the third party will be going after the other team instead. They will fully commit to that fight and your team is safe for the time being. You can heal, stabilize, and get things worked out to then loop back around and third party the third party. Most of the time, because they were so eager to fight, they will more than likely not have any abilities to get away with or fend you off. And you will be able to take full advantage and wipe that team as fast as you possibly can and make off with all of the KP. This actually was one of the techniques I used when climbing to Predator in Season 3. The Wraith that I was teaming up with was amazing at identifying these situations and would be able to get us out right away. We were able to rack up so many kills just by doing this one simple trick, and it was a huge helping hand in making my climb. But third parties are annoying and you will never be able to fully control them. It's pretty much playing with fire. You can run through all the mental checklists, put yourself in all of the best spots, and sometimes you will still die. They're the worst. But understanding these tips and using them to your advantage all the time, you will start noticing patterns and trends in games and from teams and be able to set you and your squad up in a lot better spots to deal with them. Sometimes it is very hard to properly deal with a third party. It takes a lot of time and effort to learn your own tricks of dealing with them. And as you saw, I'm still not perfect, but working every single day at this, you will be able to be on your way of being a third party god. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm Amidst Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.